Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, July 10, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call this Wednesday night around 9 p.m. Eastern. You cannot be happy with a serious mind. With a festive mind, you can be happy. How many people do you believe on this planet have a festive mind in this very now moment? Take this whole life as a myth, as a story. It is one, but once you take it this way, you will not be unhappy. Also, you cannot be happy with a serious mind. With a festive mind, you can be happy. Take this whole life as a myth, as a story. It is one. But once you take it this way, you will not be unhappy. Whenever you don't allow yourself to trust the process of life, you tend to cling to it all along the way. Worrying is the mind attempting to not create what it doesn't want. Worrying is the mind attempting to not create what it doesn't want. By obsessing about what it doesn't have or want, the unconscious spin cycle is exactly how we manifest more of what we don't want, and is one of the greatest ways to drain our manifesting vibration, our harmonics. If and when we always think about what we don't want to happen, how much energy is left to focus on what you do want to happen? How many people do you believe are right now, just in this country alone, putting all their energies in what they don't want to have happen, instead of what they do want to have happen? You may have noticed that your mind can become fixated on certain thought patterns and get wrapped around one little idea about what it doesn't want to occur. It's unconsciously, it creates this repetitive mini-futuristic fear that we often refer to as worrying. The mind tends to obsess, dwell, and get hooked into whatever it thinks it has to have to be happy. Love, free, important, rich, etc. It especially becomes wrapped around those things it believes it cannot have. So if your mind naturally is an obsessaholic, why not fixate it on feeling what it's like to manifest your dream life? Fixate it. All right? So the mind is an obsessaholic. So put it on, fixate it on feeling what it's like to manifest your dream life. Being caught in the worry habit is a lot like a couch potato stuck in the deepest crevice of the couch. They are watching some completely ridiculous rerun on TV, yet cannot find the motivation, desire, or creativity to get out of their cozy sinkhole and do anything new or different. The worried mindset can suck you into its hypnotic inner TV and entertain you for hours, days, years, even lifetimes. It feeds on your fear that if you let go of control, stop clinging and start trusting life, then the worst possible thing that you don't want to happen will suddenly happen. The truth is that clinging to anything in this life just perpetuates the manifestation of more stagnation and causes a deeper anxiety to take root inside you. The only way out is to let go and trust the divine intelligence within life. Once you do, you'll be free to feel everything that arises from a place of non-attachment and instantly shift your vibration to being completely worry-free. Now, we can easily create anything we want in this life with trust. When we deeply trust that all of our desires will manifest at the perfect time, they simply do. We can easily create anything we want in this life with trust. And when we deeply trust that all of our desires will manifest at the perfect time, they simply do. Timing is everything for this soul of ours in these bodies. When we let go of our ego's agenda, we realize there was nothing to worry about in the first place. Everything is always taken care of in our lives. The soul has a much bigger plan. All that it takes is going within and allowing this universe to support us and making our every desire blossom into reality. The more we go inside and access the infinite divine consciousness that we truly are, the easier it is to naturally live from a state of trust. As we continue to explore our divine nature and dive deeper into the truth of who and what we truly are, we will start to feel greater waves of trust wash over and through us. It is possible for you to worry when you remember that you are an infinite and timeless being. It's impossible for you to do this. It is impossible for you to worry when you remember that you are an infinite and timeless being, because you know that nothing outside of you can hurt or impact you negatively. Trust is inherently a natural part of us. We were born to trust. As a baby, that is all we knew how to do. We didn't know doubt or worry. The most primal parts of ourself always trusted what was happening and knew that everything was perfect. It was only when our ego mind started claiming the kingdom that we started failing or falling prey to the illusions of worry. The most primal parts of ourself always trusted what was happening and knew that everything was perfect. It was only when our ego mind started claiming the kingdom that we started falling prey to the illusions of worry. Right now, in your life, what is the thing that you spend the most time worrying about? In this very moment, in your life, what is the thing that you spend the most time worrying about? Decide right now to shift from worrying about this issue to completely trusting. Each time we find ourselves worrying about this particular issue, simply notice how perfect the present moment is and how there is really nothing to worry about. Be aware of the worry habit. You don't buy into it. We're all susceptible. It is one of the most overlooked destructive habits that leak our precious energy away from enjoying this life. and living out our mission. What causes it? What causes worry to happen? In the first place, it is that the mind simply lacks mental discipline, intention, and focus. Imagine that the worrying mindset is like a herd of wild, untrained horses running out of control in a small, tight corral. The more undisciplined these horses are, the more frustrated they become in the corral. The problem here is not that these crazy horses are galloping everywhere out of fear. The real issue is that you choose to follow them. When the reins on the mind are too tight or too loose, this herd will not listen and trample all over you. They'll stomp all over your feelings, your desires, relationships, and leave your life dreams far behind in the dust. The only way is to lasso the entire herd and teach them to become more conscious. Golden key to consciousness is trust. If and when you have been wrestling with your inner herd for years, you may feel defeated and have become a worry zombie or worry ward. This is someone who is numb to lighter thoughts, abundant consciousness, and outrageous pleasure. If this sounds at all like you, it's time to take the first step out of this worry zone. Lasso the herd stallion. Grab onto the reins. Steer your herd back out into the pleasure pastures so that they can relax into the positive feelings and thoughts that make your heart sing. When your horses drink one gulp from the river of bliss or gallop through fields of gold, you'll win their respect and be free from your inner worry corral forever. To get your horses into the pleasure pastures, you'll need to take them through the trust stable. Here is where you'll harness trusting reins over your entire herd. First, let them know we are all heading off to the trust stable. Let them know that they don't have a choice in the matter. Steer each thought one by one out of the worry corral and into the trust stable, and gently groom them. Give them all the love and attention they deserve. Close the worry gate behind you and do not open them again. After you get every wild beast in the trust stable, you will soon be entering the expansive, free, open, pleasure, pasture beyond. Spend as much time as you can each day caressing everyone in your trust stable. This will be your new home and will empower you from slipping back into the worry corral in the future. There's no room for the vibration of worry when you are bathing every beastly thought with trusting feelings. Trust is the exact opposite vibration of worry. It's exact opposite. When you are practicing trust, it becomes truly impossible for anyone to enter the worry corral again. All the thoughts that you had about tomorrow or yesterday don't become so important. You simply trust each moment of existence, consistently letting go of ideas about the future and past. In your trust stable, you are relaxing into the perfection of each thought, reconnecting each one with its true infinite nature. Whisper to your horses. It'll help you feel the trusting connection with your herd. Every day that you abide in your trust stable, you'll gather more trusting energy until everyone can trot around the pleasure pastures freely all day long. In this field of joyous energy, your whole vibration will go beyond having another worried thought again. Even after you've entered your pleasure pastures, many times, continuously return to your trust stable. After enough time resting there, your herd will start offering its many gifts of gratitude to you. One of the greatest gifts you'll receive is knowing that this universe is always supporting you and manifesting whatever your heart deeply desires. Through trust, you tap into your natural manifesting power. Whatever you focus on is where your herd pulls together and works towards manifesting. When you live with trust as the core foundational energy in your heart, where every thought you think comes from this source of trust, then you'll become unstoppable in your life. When you are fully committed to starting each of your days in your trust stable, you will naturally realize the powerful manifesting being that you truly are. Life will simply become easier to you, for you, to have taken back the reins. You will see and feel how ludicrous it was to worry about anything at all. There will be more peace, love, and abundance discovered and felt everywhere you saunter. Practice stopping your herd. Start with making the choice to get your wild horses under control. And you know what these are? These are your thoughts. Wherever you focus, let them know they are no longer in charge. The easiest way to start this training is with a pattern of interrupt, like saying stop or whoa to these horses the very instant they take off into the worry corral. It's best to whisper this out loud to yourself, if possible, in order to really grab their attention. By using anger or aggression, they may become more feisty and rebellious. Yet with gentleness, you will actually command your entire inner herd. This is the secret to becoming a true horse whisperer. Loving kindness and gentleness. Use this technique, and these horses will perk their ears up and listen. The softer, more loving and gentle your whisper is, the more they want to pay attention. This is what they were running around worried about not finding in the first place. They were always in search of true security and love. You can give it to them with a sweet, calming voice and trust in your heart. Even if you stop one wild horse in one situation for one moment, you are successful. Soon the rest will follow, and you will have stopped them from trampling all over your life. Entice your herd to relax into the now. On some lazy afternoon, you can lure your horses out for a cool drink in the relaxing stream of consciousness. Simply go for a nice slow stroll so as to bring them into the present moment. By focusing everyone upon what is now, you will help your inner horses to unwind. Take a breather. Rest in the pleasure pastures with the cozy green grass beneath their bellies. They naturally love enjoying the peace and sublime perfection of this glorious moment of existence, so guide them into it. When they get truly curious about the levels of enjoyment that are available in this divine moment, they will stop prancing around and become relaxed and at ease. A great technique to create curiosity is asking questions like, what is really happening in this universe right now? When they stop to ponder this question, check in with your experience. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I experiencing now? What do I see, hear, smell, taste, and sense right now? Anytime an overly mental or emotional horse begins to wander away, gently redirect it back to the experience of resting in this cozy, present moment. Turn up the heat in your trust stable. Make time every day to go inside and turn up your trust value so that it's impossible not to feel it. Increase the levels of trust around specific issues in your life that challenge you the most. Sometimes it's about cranking up the heat, sweating out the old toxic emotions till there is nothing left. Allow your mind to focus on the energy of trust as much as possible. Imagine how you could trust yourself in the worst possible circumstances. Apply this to your personal life and relationships. Soon, the heat inside your trust stable will be as sweet and as easy as a warm, cozy campfire. Every morning, you can take 5 minutes to do this exercise because you get out of bed, right? 5 minutes to do this exercise before you get out of bed, and 5 minutes again at the end of your day. Imagine that you have a trust thermostat in the middle of your chest that measures how much you trust yourself, other people, in this highly intelligent universe. This thermostat has 10 settings on it. Number 10 is the most trusting level. The number 1 setting is completely closed and lacking trust. Get a sense right now of where your trust is. Get a sense right now of where your trust is at right now. You may notice on your thermostat is a trust dial where you can adjust the level of trust your body experiences. Slowly begin to open your trust valve and let in more and more and more trust. Turn it up until you feel warm, expansive feelings on the inside and outside your heart. Notice what happens when you increase the level of trust in your heart and what happens all throughout your body. No matter how long it takes you, keep increasing your trust meter until it is completely open at a perfect 10. Inhale and exhale at 100%. Trust many times and notice what this feels like. Pay attention to how good it is to let go of controlling your outer world and trusting that this universe is helping you manifest all your desires now and forever. Then randomly throughout the day, check with your trust meter, adjust to 100% anytime it drops, and if your trust valve gets stuck at a lower level, try repeating this trust mantra for 15 minutes while breathing deeply, trusting myself and this loving universe. That's it. Stating that, trusting myself and this loving universe. Repeating this message over and over will eventually expand your head, your heart, to experience a greater level of trust. Trusting myself and this loving universe. See, when we do this for ourselves, we understand the analogy of the horses and the corral. Those are our thoughts. And when you can nurture your thoughts and reinforce them in trust, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, then everything shifts in the opposite direction from worry. You go into a deep trust. You have no, there's little bumps here and there. But as you practice more and more, your trust meter moves into the 10 being the highest, being the most open and trusting. Now see, what we do, this is with ourselves, remember. So we do this with ourselves first. We master this technique so that when we're interfacing and interacting with other people, if you don't, see, this is what happens. This is a dead giveaway. You feel uneasy and you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust anybody else. Ever. Period. You feel uneasy. You're not sure. You don't trust. Then you're not going to be able to trust anything else. That's why I always say and repeat and repeat and repeat, it's all about you. It's about how you view you. It's about how you view your life. It's about what you do and don't do. A lot of people will reverse back into a bubble. They won't step outside that bubble. Life can be changed. Anybody can change their life in the very moment. They can decide through their heart minds that they aren't interested in not trusting anymore themselves. That they fully embrace themselves. You look at a child, right, from the very beginning, that's all they know is trust. There's nothing else. They trust everything and everyone. Now, what happens is that we allow the ego mind, through the years, to embitter us. We become bitter. We become even more worried, more stressed, more fearful of anyone, including ourselves, on trusting. You ever notice that you could go back 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even further, and identify the fact that you were very trusting in most cases? Now, what do you think happens when you trust yourself? Well, you're focused on trusting yourself. You increase your vibrational frequency or harmonics. You like trusting yourself. You enjoy it. So when you trust yourself, you're open to trusting everyone else. Well, I don't know about this one. I'm going to trust this one. I'm going to trust that one. See, by saying that, you really enforce the fact that, or they're going to cross you, or they're going to lie to you, or deceive you, or manipulate you. Those are all low frequencies, and in fact, in most cases, they'll create that very thing. Period. They'll create the very thing that you were focused on. Is it a bad person or is it a good person? They're a bad person. And a lot of times, they'll end up becoming bad people. Only with you. It gets a little hazy because if you trust yourself when you're with another person, you're good. If you don't trust yourself when you're with another person, you're in the ego mind. You're focused. Remember, your corral horses, they rebel, trample all over you. Because once those thoughts get going, it's not easy. If you don't know what you're doing, it's not easy to gentlify them, right? Where they all come together and relax, and there's no real issues or discrepancies or situations. Things can seem in our lives bleak, dreary, and fruitless. And we can get to the point at times where we say, this is no reason to do this. And then a lot of people will say why they're doing it. When they ask why they do it to themselves. You know, people today, right now, in this very moment, we say, with what we see on the internet, what we hear, what we read, that we pump a lot of information, a lot of energy, thoughts into that mix. Where everything's falling apart and everything's going to hell in a handbasket, and what are we going to do? What? And then you ask yourself, what are you going to do? What are you going to focus on? And see, that ego mind is so slick. It comes in and says, you're all right. You know, nothing wrong with that. Keep worrying, keep stressing, keep fearing. And all it is the ego's insecurities, not you. So we worry about things, stress, all kinds of things. And you ever notice it kind of keeps you at a reduced trust level? Your meter's kind of turned down because it keeps trying to convince you that this is all, you know, this is the way it's going to be. It's all going to happen this way. What are you going to do? You see, you turn around and you could have the choice of saying, no, I don't care to give that any energy. I am just not interested in giving that kind of energy. You can have 10 people, 9 people, and you ask them all, what is their dream life? What would they like to have as a dream life? And everybody could be different, completely different. And then you say to them, do you believe you will experience that dream life in this life? Some will say, well, yeah, kind of, you know, half-ass. Other ones will be not in this lifetime, maybe the next. And then another one's kind of be in between and says, maybe. So we have all that, and if we don't trust ourselves in the power as omnipotently powerful, immortal, supreme beings, and we don't believe in that, we're dead in the water. And we don't believe it, you know, heart-wise, then we're dead in the water. You see, we don't trust ourselves to believe that because it seems too far-fetched, doesn't it? You know, when you're being controlled by the ego mind, it makes you feel that you're really barking up the wrong tree, that you're not making any sense, and that's not possible. And it's the opposite. How many people on this planet do you believe totally trust themselves? Totally. Without any smidgen of doubt, you know, a little crack here, you know, none of that. Meters at 10 all the time. So when you can comprehend the fact that you can have anything you want whenever you want it in the now moment, and you explicitly understand this, that you are completely disciplined in this, you'll have the life you want. There's no way you won't. And everything that we strive for outside of ourselves is within us. See? Now, when we discover something outside of ourselves, we believe that it's long-term. It doesn't last long, does it? It's forgotten after a while, and then there's something else to take its place. But what I'm talking about is an endless pool within the gods that we are of bliss, happiness, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, all the time. And we carry that around. And yet, we've been programmed to believe that, oh, no, that's all out there. You've got to go out there and discover it. And you can. You could go out there and discover things temporarily. But then they're gone. And the whole time, we've been carrying everything that we could ever desire or want forever. We carry it. It's what we're made up of. Love, joy, peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, bliss, all packaged in the gods that we are. And we really, most of us, don't know that. Now, some of us may know it, but don't know how to open it up. If we don't know how to open it up, it just encapsulates, it just sits there. We know it's there, but we don't have the key to it. We just don't. Now, how am I going to get to that? By going into the now. The more you're in the now, the more this comes into view. The less you're in the now, the less it comes. It's like a blob, blurry blob. And I think a lot of people believe that they have to really try too hard, right? They overdo it. This is a real easy, seamless process from the perspective of what I'm focusing on right now, I am manifesting. And that's it. Once you know that, and you know it implicitly, and your trust in yourself of knowing that is at 10. So you know that whatever you focus on, you're going to manifest. It's going to manifest. You keep focusing on something, focus, it'll manifest. But here's an interesting thing. You could focus on something and fear or worry about that something, which negates it, which negates the manifestation, because the universe comes in and says, oh, they have doubt. I'll give them more doubt. And this is where being trusting of oneself and understanding, these are key areas for us to be totally free. And once we do, we're in a whole different direction in this life. And people say, well, I don't worry anymore. Well, that's great. That's great. And next thing you know, you hear them talking about this, and this, and it's all worry. And I bet you $10, if you ask somebody, what's the difference? Okay, what is the opposite of worry? Do you think they would know? Be interesting. Ask people. What do you think the difference between worry and trust is? It'd be interesting to find out how many people are tuned into that, know what it is. And then say someone says, okay, the opposite, I know the opposite of worry is trust. Bingo. Now, where do you spend most of your time? Trusting yourself or not trusting yourself? When you don't trust yourself, you worry. When you trust yourself, you don't worry. That's simple. But how many times have you trusted yourself, or you thought you trusted yourself, and you went into doubt? Okay? You start doubting. You had that little feeling that, well, maybe this won't work, or maybe this won't happen. And that's that crack, that's that ego mind doubt. So the universe says, oh, they're doubting, and I'll give them more doubt. It's kind of, you stand firm, but in a relaxed state. And that meter is at 10. And it never wavers. It's like you say to yourself, this is a good one. Let's say that you went to a party. And let's say you got over-embellished at the party. Would you ask yourself this? Am I at 10 with trusting myself in getting behind the wheel of the vehicle and going home? Do I trust myself? Or do I trust myself to not do that? So I wouldn't cause myself possible harm. It's interesting how you would approach that. It's like somebody, let's put it this way. Somebody says to you, they're telling you about all the horrible things happening in this country. And you hear it, and to you, they're credible. So you listen to them, and you're worried. Now, do you trust that information that you're receiving? You can trust yourself at a 10, which means you're not believing, you're trusting in yourself of not believing in the information they are giving you. Because you're moving from the heart-mind. And this is a choice that we make. That's your decision. You ask yourself, what would it be? But that is what a lot of us don't really put time on, is that a lot of us don't trust ourselves. Ecstasy is our very nature. Not to be ecstatic is simply unnecessary. To be ecstatic is natural, spontaneous. It needs no effort to be ecstatic. It needs great effort to be miserable. And most people choose to be miserable. That's why you look so tired, because misery is really hard work. To maintain it is really difficult because you are doing something against nature. Also, I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still. All of the answers are within us. Anytime you are looking outside yourself for healing, solutions to your problems, or what you want to manifest in your life, you are looking in the wrong direction. Sure, there is a universe out there, yet the way to master it is by first discovering how to explore the one that's in here. When you first start the great exploration within yourself, you may not find anything at first. The mind can get easily distracted, and there are billions of possible ideas in there. Think of this as a great test in your patience, and is to be expected or understood. When you trust yourself, knowing that something bigger than you is guiding you all the time, you soon discover the most amazing, loving, gentle, sweet energy inside. It is from this place that all the answers flood in. The secrets to mastering this universe can only be found by those who are willing to look patiently within. You don't have to go far at all to find what your soul is looking for. Everything is already set up in such an absolutely perfect and divine way. Rest, relax, and you will soon be embracing the infinite being you already are. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Tuesday, July 11, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on around you, because that's ego mind.